So if we're going to use Harrison Bryant as the baseline, then of these players, how many do you think make a significant impact in 2021? So we have, let's see, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks. So I mean, Greg Newsome, right? We're all planning on Greg Newsome. So after that, how many more do we add on top?
I think 1.5 more. I think Owusu Koromoa, and I think Tommy Togiai as a rotational defensive tackle. I don't think it's impossible that if the Browns are in a divisional playoff game trying to stop the opposing offense with the game on the line, that Tommy Togiai is on the field. I don't think that's impossible. And I would expect Greg Newsome to be on the field. And I think there's a very good chance that Owusu Koromoa, at least in some package, would be part of that defense too. So I'll say 2.5.
I agree. I think Newsome and JOK are the top two. JOK is going to get his opportunities. Anthony Schwartz, I think, is going to get a lot of opportunities. They wanted to get faster. He brings that. He's in the 3rd round. It's not like they can sneak him onto the practice squad. He's going to be one of the top 6 receivers that they keep. And I don't think they're going to keep him in that spot and not try to use him. So I see him getting opportunities. But beyond that, I mean, is it Doug just told me how to pronounce his name, Togiai?
Correct.
He might be looking at like 250 snaps on the defensive line, and they might be really good snaps. But they did bring in players at that spot. They just got an undrafted free agent that they threw a huge signing bonus at. So it might be kind of crowded, but I think Newsome, JLK, and I would put Schwartz maybe as the 3rd guy who could maybe see some significant time.
You know, I really think that that JOK, because they would have been happy to get him at number 26, I think he's going to start this year. I mean, I think he's going to start. I really almost have no doubt about that. They were already on the whiteboard drawing up packages for him. So we know he's going to have an impact. When you take a guy that high and you're so ecstatic that you got a 2nd rounder that you had a 1st round grade on, he's going to be playing early and often and probably starting. And I agree with you guys that Tommy will be part of that tackle rotation. And by the way, I do think that there are a number of guys on this defense that are going to be really hard pressed to keep their jobs. And I said this on our Insider. I think one that you have to look at is weak side. I mean, I think you got to look at Mack Wilson. Mack Wilson's grade was 36.4 last year. He graded out at 94th amongst linebackers on PFF. So he's one that, you know, he's going to have to fight for that job. I'm not saying he's for sure going to lose it, but he's going to have to step up his game in a huge way. And I think there are other guys in that same category. And then Felton, I think that he will be the 3rd running back. I don't think he probably won't contribute in a big way. I think he'll get on the field, maybe, return some kicks and serve as the 3rd back. And they might, remember that this is a creative staff. They had packages in for JoJo Natson last year. Okay. So if you can do something unique and different, they're going to find a creative way to get you on the field, which is also why I think they're going to utilize Anthony Schwartz's speed somehow. You're right, Scott. You're right about that. They're going to find their spot. They're going to find their spots for him, because if nothing else, you want the opposing defense to have to prepare for that speed throughout the week. You want them to have to worry about it and try to figure out, how are we going to cover this guy down the field? Who are we going to put on him? You want them to have to think about that. So there will be a package in for Anthony Schwartz. That's a pretty high pick.
Yeah, I think Schwartz is going to play a role. I think Schwartz getting drafted is bad news for either JoJo Natson or Kadero Hodge. He's going to push one of those two probably off the roster.
That's a perfect segue, Dan. I think Schwartz is a fusion of JoJo Natson and Kadero Hodge. He is those two football players put into one body. That's what Schwartz's game looks like to me.
You think Schwartz will be, 5th in receiver snaps or higher than that? Will he play more than DPJ and Higgins?
I think oh man.
Higgins, yes.
He'll play more than Higgins.
Possibly. Yeah.
We acted like when Rashard Higgins signed here that it was like the key to the Super Bowl run.
Again, it's an element of speed. It gives you a different avenue. It gives you something different to give a defense to think about. It's something you cannot coach, and it matters. And it matters in today's NFL. So
Yeah,
they're getting them on the field.
And we're about to see from the front office guys they want to succeed too, like the guys who do get the opportunities. That's what we're about to find out after having 2 drafts with Andrew Berry.
I think he'll have less of an impact than Harrison Bryant, because as much as they're going to be in 12 personnel, as much as Jarvis and Odell are going to be on the field, if they're healthy, I just don't. I mean, Higgins made huge plays for them last year. This guy had 600 receiving yards in the SEC. I don't know. Like, I just don't know that I'm expecting. I know he's fast. I don't know if I'm expecting the same kind of instant impact. And Mac Wilson, by the way, is no better this sixth linebacker on this team. So it's like, yeah, there are guys losing jobs for sure.
Schwartz is going to get his opportunities. He might not be somebody who has a huge impact over the course of the season, but I think he's going to get the opportunities that Harrison Bryant got early on. That's what I'm trying to say before. That, yeah, he might. He's not going to probably take snaps away maybe from Rashard Higgins as much as he's just going to be given opportunities to be out there without people being injured.
And I think they're going to play more 3 wides this year. I mean, you play to your strengths, you play to what you have. And there's no way that you're going to have all these receivers, these good receivers on the team, and that you're not going to get them on the field in some way. So I think they're going to mix up their personnel a lot more than they did last year. I've said this many, many times before. I'm going to say it again very, very quickly. Kevin Stefanski had to run the Gary Kubiak offense last year. He had to. He didn't have time to shake it up, didn't have time to change it up. This offseason, they're all bringing something new and different to the table. A lot more people will have input, and you're not going to see the same offense in 2020. You can't.